It's fine, it's human.
First of all, stop shaking the camera. Second of all, it's fine if you shake the camera. Okay. So what do you guys want to talk about? What I do for a living is I do... Who am I? I'm Dave. I'm Dave. What we work on here is the future of wealth management, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of people who think that banking is going to go on forever like this, and we don't think so. So what I did a couple of years ago was I started up an innovation function at a huge bank, and we've been working on that ever since. And instead of just talking at conferences all day and screwing around with everybody else's slide sets, what we do is we actually make stuff. And the way that we do that is I'll explain a lot in the future series of videos, but basically we work over themes. So we do very focused innovation, and we're faking it until we make it, but we actually make stuff and try to fake it less than most other people. So what I want to do in the next X series of videos is actually interact with people. I want to answer your questions about what we're working on, about what we see in the FinTech innovation space across the industry, and we're going to do it totally naturally, and I hope you're not comfortable with that, because I'm not either. And I bring people in the room so you hear people laughing, and they're basically goons who work over here. Pan. Good. Pan back. Good. My comms director is a little bit nervous about this whole thing. I'm less nervous than him. So, let's take some questions. I like questions. What do you guys got?
We've got one question from Jilson Freddie Lincoln. How can I build an innovation department into the company where I work without losing our main focus?
Wow. Good question. Okay. From Deepak, his name?
From Jilson Freddie Lincoln.
Jills, okay. We'll try to take your question real authentically. The way that you build an innovation function is you can go one of two directions. You can go fake, try to do marketing and PR and try to build yourself a name and get promoted, or you can try to actually make stuff and get out on the frontier of what you're doing. The approach that I've taken, as you can hear from the way I say it, is the maker zone. None of us in my team actually think that we've landed that super billion product yet. We are mega self-critical. What we go about every day is looking at themes that we work in, and you can build the innovation function around what you believe in. So if you just take everything that comes as a theme towards you, blockchain, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, now everybody should be doing social media, then you're basically going to waste a lot of time and do a lot of PowerPoints. My feeling about it is if you want to launch an innovation function, you don't need 20 million bucks. You don't need 12 years, and you don't actually need a lot of people's support. You need one key guy who's going to defend your things go bad, and they go bad all the time in innovation. And then you need some freedom. So you need to talk with legal, policy, regulatory, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff you need to do, but basically be real about it and really try to make stuff and push out your energy into the world.
Yeah, we've got another one.
We have other questions?
What are the most interesting FinTech business models?
What are the most interesting, who asked that? Anonymous.
Yeah.
All right, I have something to say. When you ask a question in social media and digital, please do never ever be anonymous. I mean, this is the place in the world where you can help make a name for yourself, and you can also, present yourself as an authority on a topic. So the first thing to do for yourself is build a profile. What was the question again from Anonymous?
What are the most interesting FinTech business models?
I have to tell you, the most interesting FinTech business models are not robo-advisory. And it's not to take off our 500 or so colleagues that we've talked with in robo-advisory, but I think that there's a lot more interesting spaces, and I think they're outside FinTech. FinTech itself has become a cottage industry where VC money has been channeled to. And my take on it, having met with hundreds of CEOs and chief strategy and marketing officers over the past 3 or 4 years in FinTech, is that there's a lot of great people trying to do great things and are missing the mark. First of all, they're not integrating well enough with the banking infrastructure. There's one very well-known transfer company called TransferWise, who you may have heard of, and what they've done is they've piggybacked the existing structure and branded and marketed it better than other people, and they made it very efficient, but they worked with banks on it. And I think that's a good way to get yourself traction and business velocity as a startup. What I see too much of is people riding venture capital money and blowing money on advertising and trying to stand on stages and gain a name instead of working product. So one thing that I like about FinTech is when it comes with product first, and comes with whole market strategy and theory of blockchain as a fifth thing. So what I want to see as a scout in FinTech and as a leader of an innovation function myself is stuff that I can use with clients and test, which means I can help you get traction as a FinTech, and I can help you integrate your product and get more customers because I've got access to the customers. But at the same time, I need to see your real products. And never come to me with a video or a PowerPoint. I got to see the thing, and I got to believe in the thing, really. So you can go off to 100 different VCs and market your thing. You can even get capital on the street, but getting customers and making your first $1 million is what it's all about for me. So that's the difference between FinTech done really well. I can go on for FinTech forever, and FinTech done not really well. Do we want to answer one more?
Should we do
We still
one
answer
more?
questions?
One more question. How can consumer FinTech startup partner with a major bank?
A consumer FinTech startup.
A consumer FinTech startup partner with a major bank.
Oh, I got the answer to that.
Yeah.
Should we answer that?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Thanks, Phil. See, Phil and Nick are doing all our scouting of good questions. So what I want you to do is ask. Yes.
Yeah. We can put up the Twitter handles right here. Can we do have space or above my head? I don't know.
Yep.
And tweet Dave your questions.
And then we can do the Twitter handle dance. Mark will point left, which is my right, and then I'll be like, Twitter handle there, and I can even look at it, and we can make this totally stupid. So what was the question? Tell me the question again.
Last time.
How can a consumer FinTech startup partner with a major bank?
Consumer FinTech startup. Let me answer the question more broadly. How can a consumer FinTech startup partner with a major? How can any FinTech partner well with a bank? Well, first of all, I think you need to partner with a bank to get your product out there because they've got trust. And trust, if you ask a good venture capitalist, like there's some really good ones around here in Switzerland, they say trust is everything. And building that trust with customers takes many, many years. And so I don't want to come across as the old school banker, but I think to get access to trust, you should ride over the banks and use them and build it. Who cares who they are? Get the contact in a bank. Now, the first thing you don't need is an IT contact. What you're going to see is that a lot of the sharp end of a bank is driven over IT because that's where they spend all their money. What you actually need is business contacts who have access to markets who can get you towards the clients faster. The IT guys will follow that. So you don't want to come in as, I've got a great new tech thing. You want to come in as, I've got a fantastic opportunity for your clients that we can go test Nigeria in, and I'm going to show you the product. And that's the way to go about pitching a bank, and you need to get to the right people. So you need to be on the digital forefront. Usually it's in the digital and marketing space where you get towards the innovation teams and do a quick sniff check whether the innovation teams are fakers or makers. You want to get to the makers. There's a lot of think tanky faking in the innovation space. If they've got a set of Google couches and you get invited in for a coffee to a workshop, it's probably fakers. You want to get in there in the maker zone where people actually have products and they're like, oh, have you seen this? And you start riffing on product right away and get right into the work with them. I remember one case of a really good FinTech startup who came in and talked with us, and the first meeting, which was over, I think we did Hangouts or Skype, they had a product in my face, in the screen. They said, we launched this in this market. Here's what we experienced. That's exactly what I want to see as inbound from a bank and getting it out to a potential client. So the way to go about as a consumer FinTech or any FinTech partnering with a bank is get to the real people and try to launch a real product and get around all the excess things about process and doing campaigns on PR stuff with innovation. That's not cool, not your zone. Any more questions for today, or are we good?
We're good.
Good.
You can finish this up now.
Should I wrap?
Yeah,
Just wrap
it up.
I'm rapping. No, wait a minute, I'm a really bad rapper. What we're going to do is say thank you for watching. I hope you found this engaging. We're trying to promote FinTech, do real innovation, making not faking, and bring products out to the market. What I'm going to talk about in the next series of stuff over the next time is things we're actually working in to change the future of private banking and wealth management. And I hope you'll keep asking us questions like you have been. We'll field them, we'll answer them. Thanks a lot.
No, you talk together. I'm not here. You talk together. You talk with each other.
Look at me more love. I mean, really. I mean, what's you?
Smile. Burst out. Burst out and laugh.
Have some beer.
You burst out and laughing without looking at me. I'm not here. You guys.
Okay. Burst out and laugh. What's wrong with you, man? People don't do that.